Alrighty guys, so here we are, Pine Creek Falls here, where Discovery was first came to be, right? Discovery claim, Pine Creek Falls here. So Pine Creek, this is where it all started, guys, the Atlin Gold Rush, right? Everybody was focusing on the Klondike, everybody was coming to Atlin to move on to other places when they could have stayed here, right? And they could have had a lot of gold. There were some good claims, some guys did really, really well here. Cleaned up good. You never know where the gold's gonna be or how good it's gonna be. But like Spruce and Pine Creek, guys, the size of the nuggets that they pulled out of here, some of the biggest nuggets they ever found were coming out of here. This is the falls, guys. Nice glacial water too, eh? We're about to come into Atlin now. We've finished our tour of the gold fields of Atlin. We found Discovery and we found two mines. We're gonna go look at the actual town site itself now. See what we can see there. There's big placer rush here, guys. Big Spruce Creek. Oh yeah, we're getting all the roads here. Welcome to Atlin, British Columbia. Atlin Museum. Travel info center too, actually. They're great. Some great pictures here, man. Anyways, guys, let's go take a look. We can't obviously go inside, but that's never stopped Sasquatch. In 1902, this building replaced a cold tent and served Atlin's children for 66 continuous years until it closed in 1968. That time it had been the honor of being the oldest schoolhouse still in use in BC. Oh, wow. That, eh? Good for Ed. So, we got some farming equipment here. Little tractor there. That little tractor, eh? They got a wooden plow. All kinds of these old wagons. Wagon wheels. Shovels. Steam shovels. I love it. Oh, sluice boxes. Look at that. Wow, eh? That'd be a rocker. Looks like a rocker with the handle there. 83, probably numbers corresponding to various different things. Pelton wheel for the water. Look at this old tractor, eh? These soulful machines. What a special place, guys. Honestly. These old steam shovels. Number 23. James Henry Eastman, founder and chief engineer of Eastman Flying Boats from Detroit, Michigan, came to the north in fall of 1931 on an expedition to look for gold and stories in the Liard region. Initially based in Telesquach in northern BC, they moved their base of operations to Atlin in late June 1932. Eastman began searching for the surrounding creeks for prospects. Returning to Detroit in the winter of 1932 and 33, he established the Columbia Development Limited Company. After arranging the necessary financing, he purchased a half-cubic yard Bucyrus Eerie steam shovel, Model A. Badass, man, those badass shovels. Eastman had the boiler modified to burn wood instead of coal. It was partially disassembled, loaded on a flatbed, and shipped via rail to Vancouver, BC, where it was loaded on a CPR boat and shipped to Skagway, Alaska, transferred to another flatbed car, and shipped over the White Pass Railroad to Carcross in the Yukon Territory. Early March 1933, the shovel was reassembled at Carcross. By April, the steam shovel, under its own power and accompanied by a tractor hauling a couple of big sleds loaded with firewood, supplies, and men, set off over the frozen lakes of Atlin, BC, and up to Spruce Creek, a distance almost 100 miles away. The steam shovel traveled at about 3/4 mile per hour. It took close to a week to get to Atlin. Every hour to hour and a half, they had to stop and chop a hole in the ice to get water to fill the boiler. They couldn't pack the water because it would freeze. In 1935, a second larger shovel was purchased and brought into Atlin and the Spruce Creek workings in much the same way the first shovel was. This model was a Model B with a 3-cubic yard bucket. The shovels were fired with sawn wood. Bob Ruxelrah had the wood contract, and he had the woodcutters everywhere. Those were big contracts in those days, boy. The shovels worked as much as possible. They used carbide pit lamps, 1 on the shovel and 2 on the pits. They could have never done the work if they had never moved the earth they did. Mining with shovels continued until the fall of 1938. In the 1970s, the shovels were moved from the creek bed to the Atlin Museum yard, where they have rested ever since. In early 2000, the Atlin Steam Shovel Restoration Group was formed. It consisted of locals who volunteered their time, energy, knowledge, and donations to restore one of the shovels, the Eerie Type A. There are only 6 of its kind left in existence, and the Atlin Eerie Type A is the only one in Canada. The restored shovel was fired up and run on Canada Day weekend, July 3rd, 2004, making it only one of the 2 working Type A steam shovels in North America. The first steam shovel, the 3/4 cubic yard dipper capacity Eerie Model B, completed its tests toward the end of the year, and in 1916 it was followed by the half-yard Model Eerie A. To simplify and streamline manufacturing and service costs, only 2 models were initially produced. Both models could be mounted on crawlers or steel traction wheels, with the B having additional option of being mounted on railroad wheels. In 1922, the Ball Engine Company changed its name to the Eerie Steam Shovel Company. Aggressively marketed, Eerie machines became popular because of their simplicity, ruggedness, and mobility. In 1927, 4,430 shovels had been produced, making Eerie the leading manufacturer of small excavators in the U.S. In December 1927, Eerie merged with Bucyrus Foundry and Manufacturing Company to form Bucyrus Eerie, renamed Bucyrus International. In 1997, the company was purchased and absorbed into Caterpillar, incorporated in 2011. Although well designed and solidly constructed, only a handful of these original Eerie shovels remain, including a few that have been restored to full operational condition. Bucyrus Eerie steam shovels, guys. The big deal, these things. They are a big deal. Eerie steam shovel. Model B, guys, 3/4 cubic yard. This is a Model B Eerie. Sunk into the ground though. Oh, the backdrop here. Oh my god, it's so nice. It's all kinds of old stuff, guys. Tractors, wagons, old telephone. What's this? Morton's Morg. This log cabin was built at the town of Discovery and was later moved to Atlin in approximately 1899. Bruce Morton came to the Atlin area in 1897 and later brought the cabin, converted it into a morgue. It was used for the purpose until the late 60s. It was then moved to the museum yard. Kind of creepy that the door's open, but whatever. It's all good. International. Look at this beauty, eh? I want to come back when you can actually read this stuff, though. It's the numbers, the old winches, all the old equipment. It's so cool. It's incredible, guys. It's an incredible place. Like this donkey steam shovel. Oh, yeah. Oh my god, donkey steam shovel. Oh, she's beautiful. Oh man, I love it. I love this. The boiler. All the old rivets. All the old rivets. Eerie steam shovel. This model, Eerie B steam shovel with a 3/4 cubic yard bucket. In 1935, Eastman purchased this larger shovel and brought it to Atlin and to the Spruce Creek workings. In much the same way the first Eerie A, it appears to be a smaller shovel because the machine has settled deep into the yard. Oh yeah, look. The tracks are totally buried, guys. Look at the cables, the old gears. It all makes sense, eh? We take all this stuff for granted now, but it was cutting edge in its day. This is probably for ore, transporting dirt, tailings. Some of this stuff has fallen apart, unfortunately. The old winches. You get wrapped up in one thing, right? Because there's just so much to see. Keystone Drill. Keystone Drill was invented in the late 1870s to be used for drilling water wells. The drill was originally powered by steam and later converted to gas. The Keystone Drill was also used to do the test drilling for placer gold deposits. It was used quite extensively during the Klondike Gold Rush in the Dawson area. This Keystone Drill came to the Atlin area sometime in 1899 or early 1900. It was used to test placer deposits on Pine Creek, Otter Creek, and as late as 1970 on Boulder Creek. The drill engine turned a big flywheel with a walking arm that lifted the drill rod and dropped it to penetrate the ground. The drill hole advanced a foot, so the drill rod was lifted, set aside, and a baler was lowered down into the hole to extract the drill cuttings. When used to sample gold placers, the cuttings and sand were washed in a sample sluice to retain any gold. When used in this application, it was possible to define boundaries of placer gold deposits. The Keystone Drill could also be used as a pile driver. Oh, nice. I love pile driving. They last used it in Atlin at the current Brewery Bay Marina site in 1973. Set on the lake, ice in winter, it was used to drive the original pilings for the marina. Lots of farm equipment, farm implements. Dozers, wheels. All this stuff, carts and old objects. What's this? William Hamilton Limited, Peterborough, Ontario. Peterborough. Oh, it's from Peterborough. That's so nice. That's so cool. Peterborough, Ontario, up in Atlin, eh? Trommel, maybe? For sluicing. But that elbow has me wondering what this is. William Hamilton Limited, Peterborough, Ontario. These old wagons and carts. A lot of this stuff's falling apart. What's this? Hamilton Machinery. Alaska. Alrighty guys, it's early in the morning here. Just thought I'd show you the hotel because it's cool. The moose head. The goat. Nice old Skull Mountain Lodge. And then look at this phone booth. It's like an actual... It works too, you can only call locally. And then we got the post office there. But yeah, this is it guys. The hotel, the Atlin Inn. You can see there. Atlin Inn. And they like to do hella skiing here too. Okay. Howdy, Sasquatch here guys. Early in the morning here. Leaving Atlin, pulling out of Atlin. Sun hasn't even come up yet. We are heading back to the Alaska Highway and then we're heading home. Well, we've started the process of heading home. Another 3-4 days driving until we get back. But we're gonna take the Stuart Cassiar Highway, so there'll be more to come in a bit on that. So we're coming up to the junction with Tagish Road, highway number 8 in the Yukon, as well as the Alaska Highway. So we're leaving Atlin Road now. We're done. We did Atlin, we did the road. That's it. Whitehorse and Teslin. Hey guys, here we are, foot of the Canal Road. Some old trucks. Ross River number 6, Canal Road, guys. This is the oil road for the pipeline, the Canadian oil, to give the Americans a steady supply of oil during the war. These old cars. George Prince, Dawson Creek, BC. During the 7 months of construction of the Alaska Highway Pioneer Road, United States Army Regiment, platoon companies, ordinary troops, and engineers spanned 8,000 creek and river crossings with wooden stave culverts, floating pontoons, and trestles. They battled ice, floodwater, and driftwood that scoured, jammed, and swept away structures. In 1942, rain alone took out 33 bridges. Teslin River Bridge is only one of 3 permanent steel bridges on the Alaska Highway, built by the United States Army Corps of Engineers. It was the second highest bridge on the highway. It was completed in 1944 for $1,200,000. The Nisutlan Bay Bridge, built in 1954-1955, was the longest. It is located 40 kilometers south of here. In 1943, United States Army, Royal Canadian Engineers, and Northwest Service Command generated thousands of bridge designs, estimates, and plans. A huge contingent of workers, cement, I-beams, trusses, bulldozers, and camp equipment was shipped to Skagway and transported by train to Whitehorse. From Whitehorse, 3 stern-wheelers, each pushing a barge, traveled down the Yukon River and then up the Teslin River to this key crossing. Each boat made 9 trips to move all the equipment and workers needed to build the Teslin River Bridge. Number 416 was built for strength. It features 2 61-meter cantilever trusses and a 22-meter I-beam carrying 90 tons of structural steel. It is 37 meters high and 450 feet long. The Teslin Bridge was built without gingerbread, as ordered. It's a decent bridge, guys. In 1942, the U.S. Army sent 4 regiments of white soldiers and 3 regiments of black soldiers to work on the Alaska Highway and associated projects. The black soldiers of the 388th and the engineers received 5 months of training in Louisiana before they were assigned to the Canal Project. Building the supply road and hauling the materials for the canal was difficult. The soldiers had to contend with extreme temperatures, inadequate clothing, swarming insects, 9,000 tons of pipe. The black soldiers on the canal were slow in receiving heavy equipment of a general service regiment, so most of their work was manual labor. Robert Campbell Highway, which intersects the canal 230 kilometers north of here, was part of the federal government's Road to Resources program in the 1960s. Canal, short for Canadian Oil, was funded by the American military and was built by the construction consortium Betschel Price Callahan. A pipeline connected oil fields at Norman Wells, Northwest Territories to the refinery in Whitehorse. Another pipeline connected Whitehorse to Fairbanks. A line between Whitehorse and Skagway was built for the oil to be shipped from the south, and that line supplied Watson Lake. Telephone lines, airstrips, and pumping stations were built to service the pipelines. The final cost of the canal project ballooned from an initial estimate of $30 million to over $134 million. The production cost of a barrel of canal oil was 4 times higher than the world price. It was cheaper to ship southern oil via Skagway. The canal project was shut down in 1944, less than a year after the Whitehorse refinery opened. This was a big deal back in the day. You can still drive this road, but it's a boondock road for sure. It takes you right up in the bush there. Not much in the way of anything up there. Ross River, the canal. I love the sign. No services next 226 kilometers. And then that's the Canal Road, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and like and subscribe to the channel, and Sasquatch Prospector out.